Everyone. It is Friday, July 4th, and the MLB R5 favorite picks are on the way. As always, happy 4th of July, everyone. We're here to deliver you guys a 5-0 sweep, some fireworks later on this evening. But as always, it's Austin, joined by Logan. Unfortunately, we got to recap yesterday. Get that out of the way. Two terrible reads. I actually have 2-1 plus a half unit. No, we were down 2.1 units. Yankees, Blue Jays under 4.5 first five. Terrible read. Guardians, they couldn't even score an extra innings. They scored 0. Just two terrible picks. The units are correct on the right. I made the mistake. Whatever. You get what I mean. No one wants to recap an 0-2 day. We limited the unit size there, but man, we need to bounce back today. And if you recall, last week, a week from today, we went on our 12-0 run, and it begins today with a 5-0 sweep. And if we go 5-0 today, we're doing a $50 giveaway. Just go down below, comment your favorite pick, maybe a home run, maybe something else. I don't care. Comment your favorite thing down below, and we will do a giveaway. $50. 5-0 sweep. Let's do it. We'll start with our first pick of the day, which actually is the first game or second game, I believe, on the slate. Andrew Abbott of the Cincinnati Reds under 2.5 earned runs, plus 105 on DraftKings. I'm going to keep it simple here. Abbott has been one of the best pitchers in baseball all season long, and today he'll face the Phillies, a team that they haven't really seen and hit a lot of lefties recently, and I'm going to be willing to trust that Abbott can continue what he's been doing. Now, if you go out to Citizens Bank Park, you look at Ballpark Pal, you look at the weather, you see like plus 7% home runs, but I'm not too concerned about that. It's not like it's plus 35% runs and stuff like that. Weather may be slightly blowing out, but I trust Abbott here. He's under this line in 12 of 14 starts. He's allowing a 2.404 batting average to righties, which we know the Phillies will have plenty of right-handed batters in there, from Alec Boehm to Castellanos to Trey Turners of the world. And we've seen him be dynamite on the road, 1.42 ERA. Abbott pitches in Great American Ballpark, so can't get much more hitter-friendly than there, and he's still been dialed in 91st percentile in hard hit percentage, 97th in pitching run value, 93rd in off-speed run value. The guy's been just destroying teams. And the last 5 lefties to face the Phillies have allowed 1, 1, 5, 0, and 0 earned runs. The only guy they tagged was David Peterson of the Mets, the guy that they see over and over again. So again, I'm not going to overcomplicate it. Abbott saw them twice last year, went 2 and 1 earned runs, and I'd argue he's pitching at the best he's ever had been in his career. I trust him under 2.5 earned runs. Don't know why it's plus 105. I think it should be like minus 135, but hey, I won't complain about the plus money price. We'll keep it simple. Short analysis. Andrew Abbott, lock in first play of the day, under 2.5 earned runs. But if you maybe don't like unders, I don't got anything for you, because Logan's got another under for you. Logan, what we got?
Yeah, hopefully this one is a winner. Brewers and Marlins under 8.5, minus 120 odds on Fanatics is your best value here. Now, game 1 of the series, I'm rolling with one of the nastier unders on the slate. Nobody wants to wake up and take an under in baseball. Unders do pay, though, especially this season for us. Overs have just been nightmares. Worst offense I've seen so far this year whenever we take an over. But for starters, if you kind of look at the props of this game, or like the team totals of this game, the Brewers team total set to 4.5 with plus 115 on the over. How I see this game unfolding is if the Brewers don't get to 5, this game will go under. And again, so the value is on the Brewers to not really score 5 if you're kind of looking at that line. And I think that's what we see today. I think we see a really good start for Sandy Alcantara, who starts for the Marlins. 6.98 ERA and a 1.48 whip for Sandy. Now, our GOAT, our nerfy GOAT, once upon a time has really fallen. But he is figuring things out. His ERA in March and April, abysmal, 8.31. His ERA in May, abysmal as well, 8.64. His ERA in June was back down to 4.34, meaning as the season is going on, Sandy is finally kind of figuring things out. He had to knock off the rust for sure. What's contributing to his success? He's figuring out the ground ball, 67th percentile in ground ball percentage. The Brewers are only hitting 227 against righties in their last 5 games. They're a good offense, but they're not that consistent against righties. And that's what I want to see today. 6 of the 8 qualified hitters in the Brewers lineup have a non-positive run value against the sinker. Why is that important today? Sandy does throw a good amount of sinkers, and that's kind of what contributes to him getting ground ball outs. Hopefully he's able to do that today. If his sinker is located correctly, the Brewers will not hit that 4.5 team total as predicted. And then on the other side, it's going to be Quinn Priester starting for the Brewers, 3.35 ERA and a 1.23 whip. Now, Quinn Priester, quietly one of the better pitchers this year. 95th percentile in ground ball percentage, 79th percentile in barrel percentage, since he's not really an elite strikeout pitcher. He's like getting 3-4 Ks a game, not very elite in the strikeout department. That's how he's keeping his ERA low. limit those hard contact, loud extra base hits. The Marlins only hitting 242 against righties in their last 5 games. Not that elite of an offense either. Priester has allowed 2 earned runs or less in 6 of his last 7 starts. If he continues that today, and if he can keep the Marlins, in that like 2 earned runs or less kind of, area, I'm loving this under, guys. And then we go to the bullpens too. Quietly, these have been 2 of the best bullpens recently. Over the last 2 weeks, the Marlins are 4th in bullpen ERA. The Brewers are 6th in bullpen ERA. So you kind of see Sandy has been getting better. He's got a good bullpen behind him. Quinn Priester's been solid. He has a good bullpen behind him. All signs are pointing to an under. I love this as an under as my first pick of the day. Hopefully that does cash. But Austin, what else are you rolling with?
Yeah, I talked about Zandy in his last start. When we faded him on the road, he's been not great on the road, but at home, he's been pitching better as of late. That's kind of how those June splits went down. For my third pick, I'm actually have another under. I promise we got maybe some overs later on in this video, but I do like the first 5 under in the Orioles and Braves game at 4.5 minus 115 on BetMGM. I think this is a snooze fest. Now, I know my first 5 under did not pay, and it was a disaster. But that was probably our first worst, first 5 under that just wasn't even close. We had one, earlier, sometime earlier this week, Cardinals and Pirates, where there was 1 run scored at the bottom of the 5th and then got wrecked in there. I really like these first 5 unders, and I really think this one's going to pay with Charlie Morton and Spencer Strider. Now, let's talk about these 2 offenses. Let's be honest; these offenses and teams in general have been a lackluster this season. I mean, a lot of people had high hopes for the O's. They've been a disaster. The Braves, sure, they were down Acuna and Strider, but they still haven't been great this season, especially as of late. It's 2 offenses that really struggle to hit with runners in scoring position. So you love to see that. But also, I think these are 2 pitchers that I believe can go out there actually pitch pretty well. We'll talk about Spencer Strider, who is quietly coming into form, coming off that big injury. He's back, and he's looking as good as he has this season. And we look at his last 5 starts of 2.7 ERA. He's allowing just the 205 batting average to lefties. Why is that important? Because, well, the Orioles are going to stack at least 5 against him. We're talking about guys like Jackson Holliday, Gunnar Henderson, Ryan O'Hearn. All those guys will be in there. Colton Cowser at the bottom of the lineup, Cedric Mullins, those guys. So, again, if he can navigate those, the right-handed batters in this lineup are just not anyone that strikes fear into me. Guys like Gary Sanchez or whoever they want to throw into catcher there. If it's Stallings, go for that. I trust Strider to go out there and do his job, but I also don't think the Braves are free today against Charlie Morton and his 5.5, 6 ERA. Now, Morton will make his return to Atlanta, and I'd be shocked if he does not get a standing ovation from the crowd on the 4th of July. And, going back to your old stomping grounds, like Charlie Morton, who pitched in Atlanta for I don't even know how many years, he's going to want to go out there and shove. And we've seen guys shove against this team. And look, through 6 starts on the season, Morton looked like he was me at the plate. He looked or me at the mound throwing just meatballs. He looked like he was getting ready for the home run derby. He had a 10 ERA after 6 starts. But since then, they moved him into the bullpen for a second, and he's been really good. His last 12 appearances at 3.21 ERA this season, even despite that bad start, allowing a 190 batting average with runners in scoring position, 103 with 2 outs. These are 2 offenses that really struggle to score. And unless they're getting the long ball, which Strider's been good at limiting those, and Morton has been too, I don't see where all the runs are coming from. So I'll take the under in the 4.5 in the first 5, not getting involved with the nose bullpen, which I don't trust. Braves bullpen always feels like they could be up by 5 runs and they sell the game. I'm just not doing it. Both of these 2 teams feel like they're snake bitten. I'll just go first 5, take it under 4.5. I think Strider and Morton throw pretty well. I think 1 or 2 runs apiece from them. We go under this line pretty easily. I love this first 5 under. But Logan, you have a money line for the people today, and they're going to love this one. Where are we going?
Yeah, this is a controversial money line for sure. I'm rolling with the Minnesota Twins on the money line, minus 110 odds on BetMGM. I say controversial because I feel like nobody wakes up and clicks on that Twins button. They're not excited to do that. But the Rays are 8 games better than the Twins record-wise. We see this game as sort of priced as a pick 'em. Maybe the Twins slight favorites on some books. The Twins are only a team I want to back when they're at home. Look at their home and road splits. 21-17 at home, solid. 19-29 on the road, not solid. You don't really back the Twins on the road. They're not consistent at all. At home is where I find a little bit of value today. And again, they're facing the Rays, who are a better team, at least record-wise. But again, in baseball, it's a weird sport because records really don't mean a whole lot, and you have to take each game in a vacuum. Chris Paddock starts for the Twins today, 4.7 ERA and a 1.23 whip for Chris Paddock. The Rays are an aggressive team at the plate, and that's where I think Chris Paddock has success. The Rays are 19th in strikeouts per game, and Paddock is great at getting the chase, 87th percentile in chase percentage. He's pretty solid at being able to make balls look like strikes. And the Rays hitters do swing for the fences a lot of the times at the plate. Paddock faced the Rays back in May, went 5 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 2 earned runs. That was on the road in a very hitter-friendly ballpark in Tampa Bay. Now pitching at home, I think he's actually in line for a pretty solid start as well. And hopefully he can keep those Rays batters at bay and use their aggression against them. That's what I see coming today. And then it's going to be up to the Twins bats to give him some run support against Zach Littell, who starts for the Rays. 3.61 ERA, 1.07 whip for Zach Littell. Zach Littell is on my list of pitchers that I think are very fadeable, especially given their StatCast numbers. He's 7th percentile in barrel percentage, 13th percentile in whiff percentage, 15th percentile in K percentage. He has a 4.56 expected ERA. And if you really look at that, you have to say, well, where are the slip-up starts coming? Because he's been pretty solid if you just look at ERA-wise, but the expected numbers are not good at all. On the road in Minnesota today is where I could see a bad start coming. I mean, it's 4th of July, so you've got a bigger crowd than usual. Hopefully a lot of energy in that ballpark today. And Littell throws a lot of off-speed. 31% slider, 25% splitter. The batters are hitting 307 against the slider, 244 against the splitter. So again, his off-speed is what he throws a lot of, and it's not elite at all. It's up to the Twins to really be able to hit his off-speed like that. And again, the thing about sliders, if the command control is not there and they're hanging right over the middle of the plate, these Twins hitters they do know how to slug. So hopefully they can make Littell pay for any mistakes he has today. The Twins have scored at least 2 runs in 11 of the last 12 righty starters they faced at home, which is again a really solid sign. Meaning right-handed pitchers at Minnesota have not had a whole lot of success. So that's what I like to see. And then we go to the bullpens. Weird bullpen numbers here. Twins 29th in bullpen ERA over the last 2 weeks. The Rays, by comparison, 30th. Dead last in bullpen ERA. So 2 bad bullpens. But I asked myself in this spot, who do I like better? Twins bullpen at home or the Rays bullpen on the road? And the Rays bullpen have not been good, just like Minnesota. But again, pitching at home, that's where the bullpen arms normally show up a little bit better. It's kind of like NBA role players playing a little bit better at home. I think the Twins bullpen does perform a little bit better, and they do edge out the Rays. I love the Minnesota Twins on the money line today. Hopefully that does cash. Austin, you got another pick, though. What you rolling with?
Yeah, to wrap up the video, I have a parlay. It's plus 167 odds. It's 2 props that I looked at. They ended up moving a little bit on me, and I didn't want to play them individually. So I'll put them in a parlay, see if we can cash something nice for a little Friday, 4th of July winner. Here are the 2 props that I love. Now, let's talk about Adrian Hauser, the Chicago White Sox, under 3.5 earned runs, and Lance McCullers Jr. of the Houston Astros, under 15.5 outs. It's plus 167 on Bet365. The one thing I do want to note is that DraftKings keeps moving Hauser from 2.5 to 3.5 earned runs. But I woke up, it was 3.5, then it bumped down to 2.5, then it got back up to 3.5. So see where it goes as the day goes on. He's getting and price, and technically he's in a Rangers hat here. He's on the White Sox, so he'll be pitching in Coors Field today. And that's why his line sits at 3.5. Normally Hauser's, a 1.5 or 2.5 earned runs line. But we know when you go into Coors, you get some great hitting weather. They're going to bump up all the lines. We saw that with Hunter Brown. We cashed Hunter Brown's under and earned runs as well. Adrian Hauser's been a beast though this season. Let's talk about him. His regular line at 3.5 earned runs is minus 160. So like I said, I don't really want to play that individually, but throwing in a parlay with Lance McCullers, who's also around there, I'm cool with it. Like I said, Hauser, 7 starts this year, 1.9 ERA, 1.17 whip under this line and set all 7 starts. Like I said, he's going to be in Coors Field, which is why the number's up there. But as I said before, this is a Rockies team that at home against righties, I'll fade them. When they face lefties, like they have done against the Astros, against Walter and Gordon, they tag those guys. But against righties, they can't seem to figure it out since June 15th. So about the last half month, basically, they are dead last in WRC plus for righties at home. Yes, at home, not just in general. At home, they are dead last for WRC plus. They've been the worst offense against righties at home in that baseball. And so if they tag Lauer, who's been great this year, getting ground balls, limiting hard contact, I'll live with it. He's not a guy that gets a lot of strikeouts, which could come to our detriment today, or he's going to get some ground balls, some double plays and stuff like that. I think he goes out there and pitches well. Then we turn to Lance McCullers, who will start a little bit later. So we'll see how Hauser does to start the game. I think his game's at 8. Lance McCullers is at 9 against the Dodgers. Look, Dodgers, we know, are one of the most plate disciplined teams in baseball. And Lance McCullers Jr., when he's not getting the swing and miss, It gets dicey. He's first percentile in chase percentage and hard hit percentage, sixth in ball walk percentage. So again, we're looking at a guy, he's not getting the chases. And when teams and batters see pitches that they want to hit, it's going a far away and it's going down the line, going for extra bases. And that's where you run into trouble. And this is a Dodgers team that's very patient. I know Max Muncy is going to be out for a while, and he's one of their more patient hitters. He's also one of the guys that can ground in some double plays as well, though. But we look at latest per colors, he's under his 15.5 outs line at 6 of 8 starts. In the 6-8 starts, 5 of them, he didn't even go to 15 out. So it's not like he got 5 innings. He didn't even get there. So he's had some starts where he just gets absolutely torched. And that could be one of these starts today. This is just a Dodgers team that's up there in top, 2 or 3 in terms of pitches seen per inning, per plate appearance. And I could see him, a guy like McCullers, who just got rocked in his last start by the Cubs. I don't even think he made it 4 innings, gave up like 7 or 8 earned runs. I can see the start maybe coming in there. Not a lot of confidence in the arm. Maybe we see a guy like Shohei Ohtani or Freddie Freeman, and those guys at the plate, you're like, I don't want to deal with them. And he just starts pitching around them, throwing balls in the dirt. And we know these guys in the Dodgers lineup, sometimes they don't swing at them, especially for a guy that's first percentile and chase percentage. So again, I love both these two props. I don't see McCullers pitching in the 6th. I think Hauser can go out there and shove against the Rockies lineup struggling against righties. Plus 167, a unit on that to win back 1.67. We certainly could take one of those and use that for the bankroll. So again, to recap the card, we have that little parlay. We have Andrew Abbott under and earned runs. We have the Brewers and Mariners under 8.5, or Marlins under 8.5. We have the Orioles and Braves under 4.5 first 5, and Twins ML. If those 5 picks sweep, we'll do a $50 giveaway. Go down below, like the video, subscribe, obviously, and make sure just comment whatever you want. Comment your 4th of July play, maybe what you're doing for the 4th of July. Hopefully, we're doing a $50 giveaway tomorrow. Let's sweep the board. We're dialed in. Let's have ourselves a day, and let's go on another 12-0 run. That sound good to you all? Let's kick off 4th of July. Let's do it. We'll see you guys back again tomorrow with some more picks. See you then. Peace.